Hi everybody. So for today's craft, what we're going to learn about is an underwater animal that maybe you've seen one before, maybe you haven't, but we'll find out. This animal is on the bottom of the ocean typically because it likes to kind of eat things that fall to the bottom, the ocean floor, I should say. Let's use the color. I'm going to use this color today because they kind of have this tone to them. Ready? It's a la 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 la. What letter is that? Good. L. O. B. Trying to see so we don't have any reflection. B. Good. S. T. T. E, R. It's a lobster. Now let's squish that together a little quicker. Ready? Lobster. That's right, it's a lobster. And a lobster is an animal you would find in the ocean, right? They have big claws, right? One's larger than the other. And their body is kind of shaped like maybe like a large oval, I would say. Now, I'm going to draw one claw on one side. One claw is bigger than the other. And two, like so. And they have 4, 2, 3, 4. And little antennas. Here's my lobster. Now, a little fun fact about lobsters. We spoke about how crabs can go side to side, but they can't go forward and backwards. It's the opposite for a lobster. So, a lobster can go forward and backwards, but it can't go side to side. Kind of fun, right? So they can go forward and backwards, but they can't go side to side. And it's the opposite for a crab. So what you'll need for this activity today is... Now, actually, would be a super fun way to make this is using paint and using 2 handprints and using paint on a footprint. That would be really fun. And it also might tickle a little bit, but it's really just for fun. And it's really nice to see your handprint and your footprint in the end for your lobster. But for this specific example, I'm just gonna use some cutout paper. So if you don't have any paint at home, you can always make this. And what I did is I used 2 handprints, and what would be really great is to trace your own hand. If you don't have paint, that's okay. Just trace your hand and cut that out. So I have 2 handprints, left and right. And then your foot could be the body of the lobster. But for this one, since I don't have paint at home, I made, almost looks like a little bit of a lopsided oval, right? And that's going to be for the body of mine. And I put this on the ground because remember how I said they tend to stay on the bottom of the water, right on the bottom of the ocean. So I have that for the bottom. And then I have all their little legs and then 2 long lines to hold their lobster hands, their claws, right? But I have the hands, right? And then I made some kelp, some seaweed out of felt. And then I took a piece of blue paper. That's actually half of one, right? So I just folded my paper in half and cut it. So that's what we're gonna do. So, and then of course our glue and our scissors. So I have that here, right? I've got my glue and my scissors. Now, let's begin. What do we always do first thing? That's right, write your name. So go ahead, take your paper. I'm gonna write my name. You can write yours, and if you need extra time, go ahead and pause it, right? Now, flip it over. And if you want to write lobster on the back, that's a great idea too. That way you remember what kind of animal you're making. So what I would say first is if you are going to use the paint, this might take a little longer than just this video to make, right? Because you have to let everything dry. But if you're going to stencil it, go ahead and stencil your hands, right? And it's kind of fun to stencil your hands because you could put them down, like for example, actually I'll show you my whiteboard. When I stencil my hand, I have to keep it super straight, right? When you stencil your hand, do you want to flinch it like this or move it? No, because if you move it, then what's going to happen to your handprint is it's going to get all messy. Even when you put a hand, or even when you paint, right? When you have a paint on your hand and you paint the whole thing and you press, we don't want to move their hands like this, because if you do that, then your handprint is going to be all smudged. So I'm going to hold it like this, and I go around, and I keep my hand super straight. See? I'm not moving my hand, but I'm going around my fingers, and it does tickle. It tickles a lot, actually. I'm always impressed that you guys can do this without moving. And then it would look like this. Ta-da! There's my handprint. So that's what you guys can do right now. And if you need time, go ahead and pause it. All right. Now, what I'm going to do next is I will cut this curvy line for the bottom of my lobster's tank. So I'm going to take my scissors, thumb in the small hole, fingers in the large, wrist to the sky. And I'm going to go up and down. And use your wrist to rotate around so it looks like this. I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put it at the bottom of my paper. Not too much, just a little bit, right? Just so I can have it stick like so. And then, ta-da, the bottom of the ocean for my lobster. Now, I also have this little piece, so if you want to add it on top to give it like some 3D texture, you could do that. So maybe we'll do that. That would look kind of fun, huh? I'm going to glue this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at the very bottom of the brown piece of paper that I put. And then what it does is it gives it a 3-dimensional look. So it kind of gives it some layers, right? There you go. Gives it some layers. And then I'm going to take my seaweed and I'm going to put it to the left. You can put it on the right, the left, in the middle, up to you. But what I did is I'm going to take my 2 pieces and I'm going to put it right in the left. Perfect. So go ahead and do that. Now, I'm going to take my misshapen oval and I'm going to cut it out. And I'm going to go open, shut, open, shut. Oh, if you have googly eyes, that would be really fun for this craft too, right? And lobsters have 2 eyes, just like you and me. All right, so I've got my body of my lobster. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue it onto my paper. And then, perfect, and I'm gonna go like this. And I put it does, it's up to you. I'm actually going to do the smaller side of the oval on the top. So it kind of looks like that. And then I'm going to take your handprints that you cut out, and we're going to glue we're going to glue the long pieces that we have, right, onto the hand, because that's going to be our claws for our lobster. So it kind of almost looks like, a really teeny tiny arm, right? And if the pieces are too long, just cut them. That's fine, right? Like, for example, I made mine a little too long, so I'm cutting it, and I'm going to glue it like that. I'll show you. Let me do that. Put a little bit of glue on the hand and down the line, and that's where it connects, and I'm going to press it like this. Nice. And then you're going to do the same for the other side. So I'm going to take my piece, and it was a little long again, right? So I'm going to cut it a little bit. And then glue, press, press, press. And then remember, we put glue on the bottom of the hand and down here. I didn't put it on the whole hand because it actually doesn't all fit on the picture. So let me show you. See? Kind of like that. Perfect. Now, I have 2 little pieces that I'm actually going to put the eyes on, right? They're like same deal like the crab, where it almost looks like they're on antennas. So I'm going to use these 2 pieces, and if you have googly eyes, that would be fun to add onto your lobster. But for me, I don't, and that's okay. So I'm just going to draw some eyes after I let the glue dry a little bit. It'll kind of look like this. Good. Now we're going to add those legs, and they have 4 on each side. So what I can do is I can do this. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want, you can draw yours on. I happen to cut mine out, but if you want to draw any of these, go for it. I'm going to take these little pieces and I'm going to glue them on. 1, 2, 3, 4. See how I did one side? I'll show you. And then the other side needs the 1, 2, 3, 4. Sweet. There we go. Now all our lobster is missing are 2 pairs of eyes. Now I'm trying to think. I can either draw the 2 pairs of eyes, the pair of eyes, or I can cut them out. But I don't have any black paper near me. But I could improvise, and what I could do, I have an idea. I can cut out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of paper. I'm going to recycle, because it's good to recycle, right? Reuse. And I'm going to take my black marker, and I'm going to color a piece of paper. And then what I'm going to do, you can do this too. Even if you want, you can color 2 circles, right? You can make 1, 2, actually that's even a better idea. Make 2 black circles and then cut them out. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut out these 2 black circles. And that's a fun way too, because it helps you to practice your shapes and practicing cutting something really little, because this one is pretty small, huh? So now I have 1 eye, and just put a tiny, teeny little bit of glue, right? Not too much. Sweet. And then the other. And then a little bit. Voila. And here we are. It's a little lobster. Awesome. I can't wait to see how yours turn out. Yeah, if you have paint, go for it. Paint your hands, paint your feet, and then you have a funny reason as to why your hands and your foot turn red, huh? I hope you have a great time with it. But also don't forget to have fun with it, right? Try your best, but enjoy it. All right? I'll see you next time.